It makes no sense to say the Secret Service only has responsibility for within 100 yards of the president, and then you have a different local law enforcement agency who's responsible for this building, and another law enforcement agency responsible for that building, and another law enforcement agency is responsible for this field. Right? That makes no sense. Of course, the U.S. Secret Service will depend on cooperation from local law enforcement, but in the end, it's the United States Secret Service that has to oversee and make these decisions. And so the head of the U.S. Secret Service, Kim Cheadle, has just been absolute disgrace.
I'll give you an example. A lot of people don't realize that there are many elements of the perimeter, not only in a stationary sense, but when the motorcade is moving or the protectee is moving, that perimeter is very dynamic. It's not a nice, neat 360-degree rings of protection, inner, middle, outer perimeter. It's what's above, it's what's below. And the whole premise of that is to create as much time and distance protection for a would-be assassin or someone intending to do harm, to extend that as much as possible. We need as much time to react. The best way to do that is to do a proper advance. For example, when the motorcade arrives at when an airplane arrives at an airport and the motorcade departs, prior to the plane landing, there are elements of surveillance in the immediate area to make sure there's nothing untoward. There's resources in the sky that do that. When the protectee lands on the ground and gets into the motorcade, that basically begins a cascade of other security elements, a very proactive level under normal circumstances. For example, there's a helicopter, and that precedes the motorcade by significant distances. There are supposedly, should be a drone. It does the same thing, especially at the site. Well, that helicopter element or the pilot car, for example, in a motorcade and other proactive elements have done a lot of work the day before, the day of, hours before, 20 minutes before. And their whole purpose in life is to look and see, are there any vulnerabilities that have developed in the last 10 hours?